Hello everyone, welcome to this Go game review. Uh, I know I haven't uploaded a game in a while. That was because I wasn't very satisfied with the way I played. But seeing the 5 game match from AlphaGo and Yisidol was really motivating, and so last weekend I was in Harburg, which is close to Hamburg, and I played a tournament there. So this is the game from the first round against Timo Kreuzer, who actually is from Harburg. So let's see how the game went. I played black and I'm 1 dan, and he played white and he's 2 dan. So I opened with 3 4 point as usual, and he also did that. I took an empty corner and so did he, and I just approached inside. Like, of course, there's many other moves here. For example, you could just take your corner, but I like to get on my opponent's side of the board early to make the game to make it a game with smaller territories. So he attached here, I played Han and he pulled back. This is very standard sequence that I guess all of you will know already. So the Joseki continues like this, but now there's quite a good point for white to play here, because after this there is a weakness here, which if black fixes already right now, it feels like white is pretty fast, but if black doesn't fix it, then there's this weakest left behind. That's really unpleasant. So instead I played here first, which is very common technique, and now if white still plays here, uh, black will not play this move order anymore. But instead black will uh, possibly invade here, or play like this and go 1 space closer to the stones. In the game he answered here, which is probably also the most common move, and now I finished this Joseki. So in the game I thought that there is 2 important points now. That on the one hand, all of the bottom side is interesting, maybe a pincer here or approach here. And on the other hand, this corner is really important. Um, my opponent instead decided to approach here, and I was quite happy about that. So uh, before I uploaded this video, I checked the database, and apparently in professional games, this is the most common move. And after that, also taking the corner here is quite common. But this has been played before, notably by Q Jun. I think that's how you say it. It's a Chinese professional who's fairly old by now, but he uh, had some strong innovations in opening, in my opinion. So I just took this side and we played out this normal Joseki. And I was quite happy here, and I was wondering what should I do. I could just take this corner. This can never be wrong. And I would expect white to take the corner here now. But in the game I was even a bit more greedy. I felt like uh, both sides are fairly low already, so it's not the most important thing to get this corner right now. So instead I invaded here immediately, and so let's see. So this always happens when you invade in this shape. And now usually white has 2 choices. He can either block on A or on B. Let's see first what happens if white blocks at A. So if white blocks at A, black covers the connection. White can play here in Sente, and usually white would want an extension, but there's the black stone already by now. So this is too cramped for white, even though white could, I guess, play Sente now somewhere else on the board and just leave this behind. it is pretty weak and also very cramped. So playing at A here makes no sense. So obviously white would play here and connect, and now I take this point. And now I was only considering for him to either block on this side or on that. And if white blocks here, then black will cut, and the fight is pretty good for black because there's already this stone helping out. So the other option normally for white is to play here and take Sente now. But I think that this is not very good for white because you cannot try to make a big moyo because there is still the black stone inside, and it has, like, it's very easy to reduce. And also on the left side, black is already almost connected. So the weakness in the black shape that we usually see here is not quite as painful anymore. So I think my opponent played quite smart here. He just played on this side, and now I don't want to stay away from this position because now white could block me in, and I think, yeah, white does not have to fear this fight. Not quite sure what would be the right order for white to play. Maybe attach here now, but either way I think white is fine with the additional move. Yeah, so I don't want to be blocked in there. And on at the same time, of course, I don't want to play here and give him Sente like this. So I was going for the cut. And it happened like this. So white got Sente, but black has pretty big territory. I think the general idea from my opponent here was pretty good, but I think it's even better if he plays here. And if it's my turn with black here now, I would probably connect like this. It's not totally connected, but it's almost connected. Yeah, I think trying to cut through here now, black cannot gain much. Yeah, but still, I really liked his move here. I didn't think of that at all. So in the game he got Sente like this, and he took the extension away from the strength. So the bottom side is black Moyo now. In the game I was not scared of this move 32 attacking my group at all, so I decided to take the corner because I felt like this is still very big point. And interestingly, after the game we both thought that this this sequence of him taking, oh no, not that, no, not those numbers. Oh, there's no other numbers. Okay, so the sequence of him taking the extension on the bottom and me taking the corner would be bad for ourselves. Like, I thought it was bad for black and he thought it was actually bad for white. But yeah, I still think I should not have taken the corner here. I think I should have played here instead. And the reason for that is the bottom side is not as big now. If white would jump, first of all, black could now still take the corner. But maybe more important, because the bottom right corner is so strong, black can later invade here and try to threaten both running away and also connecting. Yeah, but in the game I got a bit greedy here and I took the corner. So he pushed here, that was the obvious move, and I jumped here. You may wonder why not play here, but this is not really possible in this situation because If you block here, white will peep and you cannot connect, because otherwise white will also connect out because of the help of the white stone outside. So now black would be totally baseless. Oh. So I jumped here instead, and white jumped with me on the other side. And now I came back to take the corner. But I think this is also not the best choice for me. I think maybe it would have been better to play here. The idea is if white plays Hane and I pull back, now it's really awkward for white to leave the spot. But to connect here in Gote is also very strange. So yes, I think it would have been a good choice to play here, and of course there's no reason to fear this variation. Maybe go through here, and I think black is fine like that. Yeah, so in the game I took the corner, but now white immediately takes the chance to play here, and it's really hard not to answer, because if I don't answer at all I lose all my base. So I did answer here, and white decided to enlarge in the Moyo. I was pretty surprised by this move 42. But yeah, the Moyo looks pretty big now. Even though I still think black is a little bit better here. Yeah, I decided to reduce now immediately from this side. It feels wrong now that I look at it again. So there's a few options. I could ignore this for now, or I could try to reduce somewhere from the top. Or I could play the way I did. And I think just ignoring for now is the smartest, because this is such a big point. It's still attacking the white group a little bit, even though with this push in at S3, white is fairly strong, but still white is not totally alive, and this is just a big point by itself as well. And I think I should not be feared of white playing somewhere here, because the black moves are much bigger. White is just enlarging his area while black is fighting over parts of the board that are totally undecided yet. Yeah, I think so. I think this was a little bit of Moyo panic. He calmly played Hane here, and I didn't want to pull back, because then it's like this, it's no reduction at all, and also yeah, like the white area is even bigger now than before, and I think this can never work for black actually. Even if you can play like this, I think there is nothing here. So, but if you play here, then there is this cut. Let's say black wanted to stay away now, then there is this cut for white, and it's really unpleasant for black to leave this behind. So in the game I thought I just take this point myself. And yeah, like usually the shape doesn't work because white can play Atari here. And of course you don't want to play like this as black. But here black can go through into the white Moyo. No. So he just connected here. And I pushed up and I pushed up again. So I think this is like the shape point, but I'm not sure if there's actually point, if there's any point for white to play here. I don't see him achieving much like this. So instead in the game, his idea was to attach here, and it was really unpleasant for me that white was here first. I didn't like that at all. So I think this is the most common answer, and to play like this. But now white has control over this area, even though he will not make much territory here. He has potential to make territory there, and he has reduced any chance for black to make territory there. And it's Sente, so white will get to play here first as well. So even though I think that's alright for black, I didn't like that very much. And the second thing usually looking at in this shape is just playing here, not giving white many chances to enlarge and to get good shape, but this will allow this exchange for white, and also I felt like this is fairly easy for white. So I thought just play here, and this should be reducing the right side the best and giving me a chance to play there maybe before him. And in the game, indeed, yeah, first he made those exchanges, and now he played on top. So I could play here first. He exchanged here. Usually you should not play here, because this could be Sente for white, but because of all the stones that we see here already. Yeah, well, the circle stone is always here in this shape. This was the Joseki shape, but the triangle stones are not. So yeah, usually if you connect here, white will get this move at 16 Sente, but here it's not Sente, so I think it's better to connect on this side. While normally you would want to play here, and white will take this endgame. Yeah, so in the game I connected here, and white attached on top. So I was feeling pretty bad in the game about the overall result. I'm not sure why, like, the left side is pretty big. If we count it, it's like, let's see. Yeah, it's a little bit more than 30 points. Let's say 31 points. And then there's the top right corner, which is like 10 points or 11, and a little bit down here. And white, on the other hand, has pretty big area here, which is about, yeah, it's about 32 points, even though white has somewhat easy time enlarging this area. And then white has the top left, which is a little bit bigger than the top right for black, but also black has potential to play on the to make points on the right side. So I think even though I like white better here, it's not like really hopeless or anything. I think it's just a little bit better game for white. Very normal thing. So now he attached here and he tried to reduce me, like making me low. So if I would play Hane here, he would pull back, and I cannot really go upside because this is really big for white to capture this stone. And even if white doesn't play it immediately, but waits one move, black cannot fix this in Sente. But on the other hand, if I play here, then it's white's turn again, and I feel like black is not making enough territory. Yeah, so I like this attachment quite a bit from him. And also, if I just pull back, there's not anything I can attack, even though I got Sente now. So I think I should have played like this. Just go on underneath his shape. Black is not making a lot of territory here, but we're denying some white territory. And if white wants to play here, I think we can cut. And even if we can't, then we are making actually some territory here with one of those points. So yes, I think this should be the right choice. And double Hane here does not work. Yeah, white cannot do anything here anymore. So in the aftermath, I think this is what I would like to play here. But in the game I felt a little bit behind, and also I had this strength here, which, yeah, I got it from reducing, but I also wanted to use it. And now that he's attaching on top of my stone, I feel like it's good time to cut. But black is just behind, and as it turns out, the exchange in the corner, which he got earlier, is quite nice for any fighting. So in the game I cut here, but I feel like black is not strong enough to take such a fight. If you cut like this, you're always behind by one move, so preferably you should be ahead quite a bit on the outside, but I feel like the black advantage on the outside is not big enough at all. So I was pulling back here. I remember that I was thinking quite a bit about this move, but I didn't like it in the end. Let's see, can we remember? So if white also just pulls up and let's say black has to save the stone somehow. Yeah, this looks really bad for black. Not sure how to get out of here. So in the game instead I pulled back, but now of course the group on the right hand side cannot be attacked. White is pulling up and I need to move the black stone somehow. So I was thinking about both, like playing on this side and also playing on that side, but I didn't like either one, so in the game I decided to play here instead. So in this kind of shape where you have the black stone almost in the net, like if it was white's turn, he could just capture the black stone in this kind of net. In this shape you generally have 4 choices. Yeah, you can play what? No, I mean 5 choices. You can play any of those 5 choices in different situations in this shape. So usually what happens if you push out to one direction is that your opponent plays Hane, because you cannot counter Hane. So you are forced to jump here. And now sometimes white can break the bamboo, but even if white cannot break the bamboo, it's probably a good exchange for white to get this Hane against this jump. And if you cannot jump there, you even have to play like this, and that's really horrible then. Yeah, and like this is similar, of course, just from shape wise. So if you just want to run away, you can also try Kozumi, but I feel like most of the time it's worse to play this because if white attaches here, um, if you came back to play like this, it would be worse for black, of course, because now you played this empty triangle instead of jumping. And if you want to pull out, then you give white the chance to force you into this empty triangle. So yeah, it feels like most of the time playing like this is not as good. And then there's also the jumps. Let's look at the jump that we played in the game. So of course, an obvious disadvantage is that you can be cut here immediately. So sometimes that can be a problem. But I feel like in this situation, we don't mind being cut there with the single stone because it's more important that we save this cutting stone here. That's one disadvantage, and the other disadvantage of playing like this is you can be forced back to connecting on this side. So I guess jumping here is more similar to playing on this side rather than playing on that side. Okay. Yeah, so in the game I jumped and white didn't play anything on around those stones right now. He instead attacked those two weak stones on the right side. So I had to run away here. I could double Hane here, I think. At least in the game it worked out. So white exchanged those two stones before he played this Hane. And that was pretty nice for black. White could also just have played here. And taking this stone is pointless for black because we need to come back here. And I'm also not sure about the ko. Anyway, so the way we got the yeah, by the way, taking here for black is not a good idea because we cannot fix here now as white will capture the black stones. Yes, so in the game we got this exchange, which is I think a little bit good for black, but the problem is that in general this situation is really horrible. Did I capture here? No, I think I didn't capture here now. Yeah, let's just look at this position and see what happened. So after this attachment here from white, we took this fight with black, but we didn't gain anything. We gained only a couple of points. So there's no way to just put numbers here? Okay, let's put triangles then. Yeah, we gained only a couple of points here because all the corner was already black and the right side should have been black at least. So we gained only a couple of points here. On the other hand, white gained all this outside strength, which is quite nice. And additionally, white could now play this stone, which is not quite closing black in, but almost. And it's pretty big just territory-wise already, but besides that, as I said, white is very strong here now and has potential to grow some points in the center even, and while black lost all the potential here. So I think after this point I didn't have any chance to win anymore. So I think we should stop the review here as well. So this was not my strongest game, I feel like. I gave him much too easy often time. And also I had wrong judgment of the position more than once. I feel like, yeah, let's see the black mistakes quickly again. Or at least what I did identified to be the black mistakes. So invading in this corner is a little bit early maybe, but I think it's a nice idea, and the way it worked out, since white didn't find this nice move, I think black is actually better here. But now playing in the top right feels like first mistake to me. And playing here instead of playing on this side, which might be center for both players, seems wrong as well. So he forced me there. And now I feel like I judged the position wrong and I panicked too much about him enlarging his moyo too much. But I just got Gote here and I didn't reduce his territory by many points at all. So now he takes the chance to attach here, and he's also the first player to play on top. And even though I think white is better here, there's no reason to get into desperate fighting. But after this fight, I feel like there's not much for black to do. And even white had choices here. For example, this table shape is a move I didn't consider for white at all. And there is other moves which are perfectly fine. So I'm not sure if this is strong or weak, but definitely black had no other options here, but white has many options. Yeah, so after this fight, black gained almost nothing, maybe 5 points, while white gained all the outside strength and got an extra stone on top. So I think we're territory-wise, we're already behind here, and the potential for white is also better. Yeah, so let's stop here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. And I think I will also upload videos of 1 or 2 more games from this tournament. And I hope I will see you there as well. Bye bye.